Bro, my intros are always stupid as fuck. Like, I literally just don't. I don't even know why I have them anymore. It's just me, like, mumbling. Like, I actually used to be funny, and now it's just, like, me saying bullshit for, like, 5 seconds and the video starts. I don't fucking know. Yo, what's up, guys? It's me, Shadow. We're back for another YouTube tutorial. This week we're going to be covering how to make a 1Nonly or LilBubblegum type beat. If you guys are not familiar with 1Nonly and LilBubblegum, you have to be. These guys are so fire. At this point, I wouldn't even consider them small artists, but like a couple months ago, they were these smaller artists that they took a lot of influence from like Snot and like Lil Booty Call, I think. Not to discredit them because these guys are really talented, but a lot of like the beats they use and the stuff that they make is sort of influenced by Snot and Lil Booty Call. Yeah, guys, basically to start out, we're going to set the BPM to 190. Your BPM could be anything, but I think somewhere between 130 and 190 is a good range. They could be anywhere from fast-paced to slow-paced. They're typically not super slow-paced, but they can be. So yeah, BPM's kind of all over the place, but I went with 190. Now we're going to move on to the sound selection for the beat. Alright guys, for the sound selection for the beat, starting with the 808, we have this 4 a.m. spins 808. That's from the 4 a.m. kit. Really basic. This is what it sounds like after the mixing, but it's just a spins 808. You can find that in pretty much every kit. This hi-hat moon, also from the 4 a.m. kit. You want a hi-hat that sounds sort of open, not like too tight and like kind of higher pitched, not like crunchy basically. You want like a clean sounding hi-hat like this. Then we have the Fuego clap from the Gucci kit. Really basic clap. The Joker snare. I believe this is from the 4 a.m. kit too. This is just, you can use any snare. Generic hi-hat too from the Gucci kit. You know, generic. Then we have the country kick. Again, from the Gucci kit. The only thing I did is I turned the out knob way up because I wanted the kick to be tighter and not like as loose. And then the Gucci rim, which is also from the Gucci kit. And that's going to do it for the sound selection, guys. Everything else is just samples and stuff like that. Alright, guys, so now that we have that out of the way, we're going to go over the sample that we used. Shout out to my homie Crimson. This is a collab beat that we have. I don't know where he found it or where he finds any of his samples, but he basically found this sample pack for like Snot type beats and he sent it over. And that's where I ended up finding this sample right here. That's going to sound like this. Alright, and if you guys want me to be as honest as I possibly can, I think what's gonna make your 1Nonly type beats is the sample. If you have really good drums but a shitty sample, it's not gonna sound good. If you have a good sample but like not too great drums, you might get a pass by, you know. I think what's really important is these samples. I don't know how to directly sample, but if you want samples... Why am I saying sample so much? Yeah, guys, if you want one of these like 1Nonly sort of like jazzy samples, I suggest honestly searching on YouTube for just like jazz songs. They sample a lot of anime too. Sometimes they'll sample like anime theme songs and shit like that. But you just want something like really like pretty and like glittery, like vintage style melodies. But yeah, guys, basically now that we have that out of the way, I'm going to move into the drums, starting with the hi-hats. Really simple 2-step hi-hat pattern. Going to sound like this. Does not get any simpler than that. And then the clap as well, super simple. The clap hits where the clap hits on every single beat ever. You know, super simple so far, guys. We just have a 2-step hi-hat pattern with a clap. Then we have the snare. I'm going to solo this with the clap so you can sort of hear what it's going to sound like with the clap. It's going to sound like this. Yeah, guys, that's the snare. That's how it's going to sound like with the clap. Then we have the country kick, which is going to sound like this. Whoops. Yeah, kick is like super simple, you know, it's just hitting in a really typical, like not super unique, kick pattern. I don't really know what to say, guys. It's just a really simple kick pattern. The only thing crazy I did is on this little kick roll at the end, I just kind of turned the velocities down because I didn't want it to be really overwhelming. And the only other thing I did is instead of having like a 2-bar kick pattern, I made it 4 bars and I added some variation in the second one. You know, you just want to do these things to like make your beats a little bit spicier, you know, throw some shit in there, you know, make it less repetitive, make it more fun. That's gonna be the kick pattern, guys. And then we have this little perk pattern right here, which again, I'll play with the snare and the clap because, you know, those are all sounds that sort of go together. It's gonna sound like this. Alright, guys, yeah, basically for this perk, percussion, you can do whatever you want, but what I chose to do personally is I made this perk sort of hit before the clap, so it was like you know, it added some rhythm to the beat. You know, it made it a little bit more like bouncy, shit like that. My best advice for these guys, what the fuck? My best advice for these beats, guys, is just to really make it simple but make it unique. That sounds kind of difficult, but you do not want to go crazy on these beats. If you're gonna go crazy on any beat, this is gonna be the last beat that you're gonna do it. For hi-hats, super simple 2-step hi-hats, regular claps. You want a snare in the beat pretty much always. Nothing crazy with the kicks, all that shit. But with that being said, guys, real quick, let's finish up the drum patterns. Then I have this open hat pattern right here that's gonna sound like this. Basically, again, just to add a little bit of variation to the beat, not make it too repetitive. I'm sorry if I sound weird this video. I kind of have a cold, guys. I'm a little bit sick, but I'm recording this anyway for you guys because I made this beat and I just thought it was too fire. So you know, fuck it. I had to make this video. Only thing I do with the open hat is I adjust the velocity a little bit just to make it sound less robotic. And yeah, guys, we're going to move on to the last drum pattern, which is probably the most important, the 808. I'm just going to play this for you guys real quick and then sort of tell you my process about how I made it. Alright guys, so the first thing you're going to notice is that the 808 sounds really distorted. As I said earlier, this is the 808 after I mixed it. Yeah, real quick guys, this is what the 808 sounds like without any mixing on it. Super quiet, super laid back. You don't want to go crazy with the 808. But yeah guys, basically for this 808 pattern, the way I made it is I played the sample and then the 808, but what I did is I pitched it up a couple octaves, so it's going to sound like this. And yeah, for anyone making 808s or who's new to making beats, pitching your 808s up a couple octaves when you're making your 808 patterns is going to help you get like the correct note, I think. Sorry, I'm not the music theory guy. Everyone who watches these videos knows I'm fucking trash with music theory. But yeah, guys, basically, you don't want the 808s to hit too often. You kind of want it to leave some space. That's the reason I use the spins 808 is because it kind of like fades away pretty quickly. And the one thing I knew I wanted to do with this 808 pattern was instead of having it go a higher note to a lower note and then just repeating that, I made it sort of drop down and then climb back up. You guys are going to do your own thing for the 808s in every beat, but yeah guys, this is just my advice, my little sauce, what I did for the 808 pattern. And with that out of the way, guys, we're going to go into the structuring and then the mixing, and then we're going to wrap this video up. Alright guys, now we're moving on to the structuring. Really simple. My inspiration for this beat was, I think, Stay With Me. It's a song that's already out, 1Only, produced by Nate Goyard. He's fire. But yeah, basically what I did for this beat is I followed the structuring I think that he followed, which is basically a little intro, little 8-bar intro, 8-bar hook, and then 8-bar verses. It's really repetitive, but the song's not super long, and these rappers really tend to like outshine the beats, so it's not too important to go crazy. You know, right here, just an 8-bar hook, 8-bar verse, 8-bar hook, 8-bar verse. I did switch it up a little bit. Basically, for the verse, you're going to play all the drums besides the kick and the 808. So I have the hi-hats, claps, and snares playing throughout the entire verse. And then for the second verse, I do the same thing, except I bring the country kick in halfway through. You know, just to switch it up a little bit. And then for every hook, I bring in the open hi-hats for the like end half. And then for the very last hook, the third hook, instead of bringing them in for the last half, I brought them in for like half of these bars and just like kind of did this. I'm kind of bad at putting into words what I do sometimes, guys. I apologize for that. These are just my tags right here, me and Crimson's tags, so just ignore that. And then I have this plain riser right here that sounds like this. This is from my drum kit Potions. I'll link it below. Potions is a hyperpop drum kit, so it's probably not going to help you for these kind of beats. But what I do is to make my beats sort of flow more and for the listener to know like when we're going from a hook to a verse, I basically just throw on this riser. I put the riser where the beat drops the first time, and then the rest of the risers are when the verse starts. And the last thing I did for this beat, guys, is actually a really cool tip that you can do to like spice your beats up. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to right click and just highlight an entire like 4-bar or 8-bar loop, whatever, of your beat that's like the main hook. And then what you're going to want to do is file export it as a WAV file. Then you're going to paste the WAV file in and stretch it out to be double its length, and it's going to sort of add that effect where it almost sounds like half-timed. What the fuck is the zoom on this shit, dude? Hey guys, basically it's going to add this effect where the beat itself almost sounds like half-timed, almost not really half-time, but like it just sounds slowed down. Do you like how I spelled this? 1Only type beat, will slow down. Hey guys, basically this is what the slowed down ending is going to sound like. Yeah, I think that sounds fire as fuck. This is the first time I've actually done this in one of my beats. I didn't even know this was the correct way to do it, but it sounds pretty good. Yeah, guys, that's going to do it for the structuring. Now we're going to move on to the mixing, and we're going to wrap this video up. Alright, guys, so starting with the 808, not too crazy. Like I said, the 808 is really quiet, and I didn't mix the 808 on its own. I mixed the 808 while listening to the beat because it sounds different on its own. And what I did is I had a fruity fast distortion with the default preset and the heat preset, 2 layers of fruity fast distortion. I turned the knob really low down. Then I have a fruity blood overdrive with the knob all the way down. I didn't even mess with these settings, and I turned it a bit down in the mixing too. I don't actually know fully what fruity blood overdrive does. I just know it makes the 808 sound like beefier and better, so I threw it in there. And then a little bit of Destructor with the lo-fi preset, you know, just make it sound nice. Little bit of bit crush on it. Alright, guys, then we have the main sample. Didn't do a lot to the sample. Basically, all I did was this EQ that's going to make it sound more vintage, like VHS style. You want your samples to sound pretty, like, vintagey. I don't know the right word for it, but... yeah, basically just this EQ took out some highs, took out more lows, so it didn't clash with the 808. And then I have this isotope vinyl that I tried automating, but I didn't end up using this in the end, so just ignore that. Alright, guys, and then we have this little intro bit where I isotope vinyled the intro. Super basic. I put the year down, I put the warp up. I forgot to mention this when I was covering the structuring, but basically this is a different version of the sample. I made it unique, and basically this one is a stretched version and this one's a resampled version. So yeah, guys, basically all this is going to do is make it so there's more like movement to the beat. What I did is it's going to make the intro sound more pitched down so that when the beat actually drops, there's even more hype to it. It's going to sort of sound like this. You know, you guys hear that transition from the lower pitch sample to the higher pitch sample. You don't have to do it, but I did it for my beat, and that's actually going to wrap up the mixing. One thing you'll realize, guys, is mixing is not as important as you think it is. It is important, but what's more important is picking the right sounds for your beat in the first place. The only mixing I did was on the sample and the 808. Everything else was just leveling. And with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. If you didn't, don't. Remember to hit the subscribe button if you liked the video. I try to post these tutorials every week. I've been super busy recently, so I haven't been. But yeah, guys, more tutorials to come soon. Have a good day or night, guys. Peace.